and everything that you need to know. And I am not doing this alone. This morning, I have with me Tega, who is full of energy and she's ready to go.
Yeah, full of energy and sitting down.
I'm full of energy. I'm sitting down as well, Tega.
No, 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 I never sit. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I am tired today. What did I do last night? I was awake for most of the night working, so I'm tired today. But good morning, everybody. It's a new week. I was trying to get ahead of the curve of the week. Hopefully I did it. How
Amen.
was your weekend? How is life treating you? I heard I'm a very popular person on social media today, so I'm really loving it. But barring that,
Interesting.
oh yes, but barring that, let's talk sports. The new best thing in sports. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about the fact that Lionel Messi is carrying people to America. He has just vexed everybody. Just, and then it's strange, but the Premier League is losing players to Saudi Arabia.
Follow the money.
You know, so
That's all.
we'll talk about all of those, and we'll probably open the phone lines for you so that you join in on the discussion. Especially some of the Saudi moves and the Super Eagles team. But before we do that, Ayo, tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room?
All right, you can be part of the locker room this morning by sending your messages to us via WhatsApp on 0809 4440981. We are also streaming live on YouTube, yes, at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Try to live stream and, of course, drop a comment as well. All right, let me hit you all with the headlines first of all. So, part of the people as Nigeria Federation lets fans decide coach's future. I'm interested in that one. Alcaraz claims Queen's title and top ranking. Yelena Ostapenko beats Barbara Krejcikova to win title. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta accepts Gunners must sign new players in order to win the title. Saudi's Al Hilal signed Senegal defender Koulibaly from Chelsea. CSO moving to Saudi Arabia. CONCACAF suspends four players after USA Mexico brawl. Inter Miami to sign Barca midfielder Busquets as free agent. And Netherlands aim to turn dream into reality. All right,
All right,
Tega,
yeah. So
do this.
that's a huge one. I mean, because the Dutch lost to US via penalties at the last World Cup, and then they won the Euro, so they feel like they're going to be back. The bad news for them is that women's football has grown so much that
Mm,
the fact that you got to the finals last time out
doesn't
doesn't
mean
mean
that.
that you will get to the finals this time out. There are no guarantees. So you're looking at the likes of Sweden, Japan. These are countries in the mix. People say, why didn't you mention an African country? I'm tempering my hope with,
You need to walk before you can run.
with some wisdom. But I'm not saying that African countries won't step up at this World Cup, but all the way to the finals, the jury is still out. I'm out on that. But if they make it to the finals, I'd be the happiest person. I'd applaud them all the way.
That would be a first.
Yeah, but yeah, if you're talking about the most likely countries to win, Sweden, England, you know,
The
even
US.
US, throw in a little bit of Japan and Spain. The reason I'm throwing in Spain there is because they are X factors. They can do and undo.
Mm.
Um, so I think the Dutch will be excited about going all the way to the finals, but they shouldn't get their hopes up that just because they won the Euros that they will definitely make it to the finals. It's a tough world out there. Australia is going to be tough for every team. But it's going to be tough for the footballers, but it's going to be fantastic for the viewers.
Indeed,
Because that's what
indeed
we
it
want to
will.
see. We want to see good football. We want to see the battle. So it'd be great to see that. But yeah, I don't think they should be counting their chicks yet.
Mm.
Those are saying we are aspiring to win the World Cup. Just say we're going to take it game by game. You know, in the beginning, you have to start so because you may not even get out of the group stage.
That
Then
is that,
what?
that is also a that is always a possibility, that
Then
happening.
what?
And of course, looking at Nigeria, I think quarterfinal has been our best showing,
Yes.
1999.
Yes. So quarterfinal has been the best showing this year. I do anticipate that if we put our best foot forward, barring the fact that you know we don't have the best coach or the most entertaining coach on the tour. Neither do we have. Did we take our best players? We took exciting players, but
Not necessarily the
the
best.
best mix. Let me not say the best players. The
Mm.
best mix.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's not perhaps what we took, but I still hope that we can make it to the round of 16. I think we can make it out of the group.
All right, fingers crossed on that one. All right, let's bring this home now. Now, Nigeria coach Jose Pesero's job is in the hands of the fans after the NFF president Ibrahim Gosso said he will let them decide if the Portuguese should stay on. Now, there's now a national debate over whether the 63-year-old should be retained, and Gosso said the people can decide. Tega, what is happening?
I don't even understand. So this is really ridiculous. So what happens? You're just going to open maybe on social media. You're going to put
This
you put like, should he stay or should he leave? Yes or no, and then the highest number of votes determine whether you employ him or not. Why are we playing lottery with something as important as the national team's football coach, especially with a tournament, a major tournament in January next year? The fact that Nigeria's qualified for AFCON doesn't mean that that's the end of it. You're trying to build a team that is not. And remember, you may think about just the AFCON next year, but you're trying to build a team that would compete at the World Cup soon. So you're not looking at just. It's not just one major tournament. So the fact that he's saying, "I will let fans decide," like
that's smart of your responsibility.
that. No, no, that's absolutely what it is. That's absolutely what it is. What are we doing here? Is this Big Brother Nigeria? What are we doing here? What's happening? It's the most ridiculous thing. You see, I like banter every day of the week. I'm always up for banter, but there comes a time where you have to draw the line. This is the responsibility that you've been given. You are the president of the NFF. You're supposed to improve football in the country, and now you're leaving it up to a fan base to determine whether I should stay or should leave. But let's even face that that's what you want to leave it up to. The fans have been saying that you should sack him since. What do you need to before you listen to the fans? Haven't you been listening to every radio show on the planet to know that Nigerians don't want the Super Eagles coach? If that were just about it, by now you should have done something. I think it's just ridiculous. I think at this point in time, he's really making a jest of it. It's very irresponsible, like you said, totally uncalled for. But hopefully, they get their acts together and do what's right. If you're giving him a new contract, then give him a new contract, and tell him what the parameters are, and let him work. If you're not giving a new contract, fire him and hire somebody to do the job quickly. We have too many things to do developing football for you to be concentrating on fandom playing when what is it? Does he love me? Does he love me not? What's that?
I haven't heard that in quite a while. Thanks for reminding me. All right, let's move on to our next story here, where Spain's Carlos Alcaraz fired a Wimbledon warning as he comfortably beat Alex de Minaur 6-4, 6-4 to claim the Queen's Club title on Sunday and return to world number one.
Yes, he's world number one, but he said, "Yeah, I'm world number one, but Djokovic is going to be at Wimbledon." I remember Djokovic has won the first two Grand Slams of the year, so he's definitely, I mean, the man to beat on grass. But the thing about Carlos Alcaraz is he didn't really know how he was going to play on grass because it's not his greatest surface, and he hasn't had the opportunity to play so well on it. So if you watch this tournament, in the very first match he struggled. He barely made it because I would say his quality as a tennis player was greater than the guy on the other side of the net. Okay. So the first round was really tough. Second round, you could see that there was a little bit of struggle. But by the time he faced Grigor Dimitrov, he was getting a hang of it. And he confessed. It was like I was watching some of the greatest people that move on grass, Roger Federer and Andy Murray. And that's what I was focusing on. And so I was learning how they were moving. Because if you watched him again, sometimes he looked a step behind, and he only just made it to connect to some shots by either reaching out or by his athleticism on basically. So I understand what he meant when he said he had to watch the footwork of those people that move very well on grass, and I like the people he chose. I would have said throw in some Pete Sampras in there, but once you have Roger Federer on grass, you've pretty much had the best.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I think he watched the right videos, and he was able to fight through and come through to win this tournament. Now he's back at the top of the rankings, and he understands that because he's number one in the world. And again, you have to understand, it's not just that he's number one in the world or that he's winning tournaments, it's how he's playing. Like, if you saw the stadium yesterday, people were standing. You know, I've not seen this kind of fandom since Roger. Maybe Rafa at Roland Garros, but really since Roger. I remember when Roger started, when he turned pro. I remember the time he beat Pete Sampras, and I mean, he went on to lose the very next match. But you watched him, and everybody was just like, "This is the greatest tennis I've seen." That's the kind of following that Alcaraz has now. The only difference is Alcaraz has won a Grand Slam earlier
Mm.
than Roger did. So I've not seen that kind of there's now a following. It's what I always tell people about the sport, that ultimately people may applaud your result, but they will watch your sport because of how you play it. Michael Jordan doesn't have the highest number of rings in
He
the
doesn't.
NBA. Most people think that he does. No, he doesn't.
He has only 6.
He has
I
only
think
six. They both have 11.
Will Chamberlain,
They
if
both
I'm
have
correct.
no,
So
no, even Robert Horry has more. So it's not about the number of titles you win, is how you do it, is how you make people want to. Michael
mm,
Jordan made you want to play basketball. He went around feeling like a hooper. He went around buying unnecessary sneakers, thinking that because you
when
have
I was
sneakers, you can hoop.
when when I was younger, I liked the Chicago Bulls. Why? Michael
Because Michael
Jordan.
Jordan, that's it. So if you can put, so when you're talking about greatest of all time, you're talking about people that influence the sport greatly, not just
Mm.
people that make numbers. And so Carl Alcaraz is bringing that back. Unfortunately, I still don't think that he moves as well on grass yet, because like I said, he's still a pace and a rhythm off. But he's just 20, and he's going to get the hang of it, and he'll
Mm.
be lethal.
He has more time ahead. Let me take a quick comment from Twitter from Olushe. He says, leaving the fans to decide the future of the Super Eagles coach is really ridiculous. High level of responsibility from the NFF chairman. He needs to be firm with his duties. Pesero should go.
But you shall still give your opinion as a fan that he needs to go. All right, let's take one more story first before we go on.
All right, still sticking with tennis. Now, Yelena Ostapenko beats Czech player Barbora Krejcikova at the Birmingham Classic to take a second grass court title of her career.
Yes, so I would say this. I've often said Yelena Ostapenko is her biggest weakness. Like, you watch this girl play tennis, and you know that if she just has a little more discipline, a little more focus, and she loses some of her disregard, she would be somebody that is tough to beat. You watch her play, and she is so brilliant. But she has those moments where she's just distracted, or she really doesn't care sometimes. You know,
Mm.
I remember when she won the French Open, I was just like, if this girl can continue along this trajectory, she's going to be unbeatable. She's not like that, unfortunately. So every once in a while, you see her bring a brilliant performance. This week, all through, I think she played. Most of her matches went all the way to 3 sets, if not all her matches went all the way to 3 sets, if I can remember correctly. So she was focused. She was determined. She was like, I'm going to build up into Wimbledon. Well, now the thing about the WTA is the wild wild west.
The Wild
You
West.
can have a great week one week, the next minute somebody random is just knocking you out. But even right now on the WTA, there's so many informed players that will be ready for Wimbledon. We haven't talked about Swiatek. Swiatek is going to play this week to prepare her for Wimbledon. So she's a name that you must call. World
Mm.
number one of the most informed players. You haven't talked about Sabalenka. You haven't talked about Rybakina. There's so many players on the world tour that can knock out, but this is a good build up into it. Also, Petra Kvitova, rolling back the years, won her 31st title in Germany. So congratulations to her. I really
Well
love
done
to.
to her.
I love she deserves every good thing. I remember how she had her career was going on a brilliant trajectory, and then somebody attacked her with a knife, and it took her career out for a while, and then
Mm.
she's back. So I'm very happy to see her back on tour. Also on the men's side, Bublik, Sasha Bublik won on grass this weekend in Germany. He won in Halle, Germany, and he had such a brilliant and fantastic week. My fear for him is that I hope he hasn't played his best tennis
You should.
in Halle, and then in Wimbledon he'll be looking for the tennis to play.
How in football a team scores 6 goals this weekend, and then next weekend they struggle to find
Yeah.
one. Similar circumstances.
Yeah. All right, so let's take that quick break, and when we come back, we'll be coming back with your messages. Tayo, we see you.
Victor Show, we
Victor
see
Show,
you
we
as
see you.
well. All
All
right,
right.
stay with us and keep listening. This is the Locker Room on Smooth 98.1.
I'm just thinking of what my trainer is going to do to me today.
Basmus. Basmus. Don't worry, you are fit to do it. I believe you. I think.
Now I've decided I'm going to continue like this till at least the end of this year.
Are you doing weight training? Ha!
I have to burn, so I have to
Yeah.
burn this part. I want Angelina Jolie arms. Yeah, I want Angelina Jolie arms, and I'll be good. Angelina Jolie arms. And her arms are the best.
That baby's fit, I beg.
It's just everything is just so toned.
Eh?
So I want her arms. I want Tiana Taylor's abs.
You don't want hey, what's this babe that does gymnastics that retired? That short babe.
Simone Biles.
Simone Biles.
No, no, I don't want.
Yeah.
No, I'm allergic to manual labor.
Wow.
I don't want anything that will stress me. Oh, but Tiana Taylor is she's such a workout holic. But I want her abs, and then I want Angelina Jolie arms. Then I'm close for the year. You people are finished in Lagos.
But I just hope that with all this your all this energy, going to the gym, doing everything, and then you come out. I hope it's not fufu. I could just come out and eat.
Oh, I eat them.
After.
No, I must eat swallow 5 times a week. It's compulsory.
Okay, but not.
Yeah, I know it's compulsory. I cannot not eat swallow. What's that? What else, other food is there to eat?
Cruz says, I stop laughing at Tega. Is it your goals? I'm actually being very supportive,
There's no other food to eat. I eat swallow compulsory 5 times a week.
Interesting.
If it's not about if it's starch. I'm not one of those people. There's not many food I like. I don't like many food. I don't like rice. I don't like spaghetti. I don't like bread.
Okay.
I like swallow. I like yam and beans. My food I'm starch heavy.
The trainer has work to do.
Yes, lots of work.
That's all I can say. All right, welcome back. You're in the locker room on Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. This is Kekere-Ekun, and I am with Tega. We're both here bringing you all the stories and, of course, letting you know what's going on in the world of sports. Let me go to the messages. Victor Sheon says, beyond Pesero leaving, who is on the radar that NFF is hiring? Very, very big question. And Tayo says, my own is USC shouldn't win after their promo video. Their pride should follow them out of the tournament. Then he further says, were we consulted when he was hired? That's Pesero.
Exactly.
NFF don't want Pesero. They should take action and stop being shy about it.
Exactly. But when he was hired, it wasn't Gusau that hired him. But however, if you're going to fire him, fire him. If you're going to hire him, hire him. But I also agree on that USA video. Did you see their video?
I didn't see the video.
It was the president and his wife first came to talk about how they're defending champions, yada yada yada. I know bragging is more painful when it's true.
Was he being coherent in his bragging?
Yes, but now he was coherent in his bragging. The only thing that catches him off guard is something that he didn't plan. But he planned this one, and he was very correct. He was eloquent. It was painful because it was true. They are the team to beat. Bragged about them. Then their celebrities now start calling. So let's use Nigeria for an example. Let's say you're from Delta State. They'll bring like a celebrity that's from Delta State to now introduce your name as you made the list. And I said, if you're from Imo State, I was just like, hey, these people, their shakara is too much. Yeah, they need to beat them. Their pride is too much. They should beat somebody. Should knock them out.
That shoulder that they're carrying.
They should bring it down quickly. Humility is a virtue.
It is.
They deserve to have it. All right, let's take the next story.
All right, let's go to the Premier League, where Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta accepts his side must strengthen in the transfer market if they are to become Premier League champions next season. Don't strengthen.
I don't know who he's talking to. Is he talking to us or he's talking to his board? Is this a Stan Kroenke show?
I think he's shading the higher ups.
He must be shading. He better be shading the higher ups. However, if he's talking about buying, then again we go back to the conversation we had on Friday, because it seems they're chasing a Kai Havertz, and I'm like, that's not your biggest problem. At the end of the day, it's not just about strengthening and getting players. Is strengthening in the places that you're weak. So if you're getting players, yes, you have to get defenders, especially your central defensive pairing, and you need to have full backups.
Definitely.
You need to have that. when all that is said and done, you still need defensive midfield. Then you need a lethal striker up front. A lot of people talk about this Gabriel Jesus. I'm not buying it. I,
Jesus is not a 2025 goal a
I
season
don't buy him.
type of
He has
player.
never sold me on him. And yes, once in a while you see the brilliance in a run of 3 games, and then it dries up for 9 games, and you're like, it's a marathon. The
That's not
league
the
is a marathon.
consistency
That's
that
not the
wins you the league.
consistency that you need to win you the league. So a tricky thing to do. Do I have to sell Edin Ketia to buy a new player, because it may be harder to sell a Gabriel Jesus to get another. It's the things that they need to work out. So yes, he's right. They need to strengthen, but more importantly, they need to strengthen in the places that they are weak, not just buying players and filling up the locker room.
That's very important.
Mm.
All right, Lagos, all our listeners, you can be a part of the locker room this morning by sending your messages via WhatsApp on 0809 440 We are also streaming live on YouTube at Smooth981 FM Lagos.
All right. So let's see the next story.
All right, next story. Let me see here. This is yes, where the money is.
Ah,
Saudi Arabia. Now, Chief Security Officer Senegal defender Khalidou Koulibaly has joined Saudi Arabian side Al Hilal from Premier League side Chelsea. The two clubs announced on Sunday. Now, Tega, this particular story, this Koulibaly moving to Saudi Arabia after one season in Chelsea. I remember when he came in. Oh yes, I'm going to be the security of the team and that. Of course, that's why I call him CSO.
The security
And
field. You could the security field now. He couldn't be the gate man. Security was far. But yeah, so it was a tough one, and I think that so when you look at some of the players that are moving, I don't think ideally Koulibaly would have moved if we were moving up in Europe. If somebody else with good impetus in Europe would have asked for him, he probably would have moved. But after that season he'd had at Chelsea, it kind of tainted his record. There was nowhere to go. He was only going to go down. And think about it. He left Napoli, they won the Serie A, came to Chelsea and for big money with all the high hopes they had, and they stumbled so badly. And so there was no, Real Madrid looking to buy him. And I guess if he had that, he would want to stay. But at the end of the day, when he didn't see that anything was going that way, it was time to say, you know what, thank you, Europe. Let me go and secure the bag. And Al Hilal is buying everybody. They bought Robin Neves. They're the ones that have taken N'Golo Kante. Again, a sad end to such beautiful careers. I won't say sad. I didn't think that N'Golo Kante should be retiring now. But because of the season he just had with Chelsea,
a lot of
playing, a lot of
injuries and so on
injuries
and
and
so
all,
forth.
playing only 7 or 9 games or thereabout. Um, Again, it's not enough advertisement for another big club to look at you and say, we want you. So he was not going to be moving up. It was either sideways or down, and sideways mid-table, or not sideways top six. That was it. Again, Saudi Arabia is now the place people are just looking to make money. Hakim Ziyech is also moving again, moving to Al Hilal. And you're just wondering,
What is it
to
with
Saudi
Chelsea
Arabia.
and Chelsea players and Saudi Arabia right now?
I think the Saudi Arabia is looking for players that will grow their league, that will bring their league some recognition before they start selling TV rights and all of that. Or so that they can start selling TV rights and all of that. But it's all of Premier League that they are reading. It's all of Premier League, and they're also reading Italy.
Anybody can
Anybody
collect.
that is ready to go will go. But again, because of the season Chelsea had, and Chelsea is trying to sell as many players as possible. Think about it. Manchester City is about to get Kovacic for a steal.
Absolute steal.
It's only us now that they are booing. Because I'm not buying Kai Havertz for 65 million. I cannot be.
And Man United as well.
Yeah, but you cannot be. You cannot. Well, Manchester United was 50 something for an English player. People should bring money.
Who has 1 year left? 1 year left on his contract.
It's a 24-year-old English player.
Take 1 year
in
left
the
on his
EPL.
contract.
No, that money is not enough. Man, you bring money now. Why are you pricing this guy like
someone that will go for free next season? You will not see 1 naira for him next season. You are carrying shoulder. No problem.
Todd Bowley doesn't mind.
Okay.
He's a rich man already.
Let's go to WhatsApp here. All right, Tayo says, Arteta wants to strengthen his team and you sign Havertz. Stop playing. The way Chelsea are signing players needs to be studied because this is the first time I'm hearing someone's contract expires in 2031. Is it a covenant or prison sentence? It happens in Spain, seven
Yeah,
seven
don't
year
worry.
contracts
They do all that
and
all the
so on and
time.
so forth. CSO shouldn't have called Terry asking for permission to use his retired jersey number. Anyway, safe journey. He can continue his CSO work in the Saudi league.
Abi?
Yemi says, "Good morning. Please, does the financial fair play apply to the Saudi Arabians? No, it does
No, no,
not.
no. That's European.
It's Europe. It's an European. It's a
It's
European
European
thing.
something. So
It doesn't. So they're spending this money. Cruz says, Tega, does Saudi have interest in developing table soccer or professional clapping and dancing, aka supporters group? It's not a jackpot plan, no. It's a career advancement
if
with
you
plenty
insist, Cruz.
with plenty money. Chimobi Victor says, good morning, guys. Please, does Mikel Arteta need to blow his trumpet before he
See,
strengthens his
Mrs. If
squad?
you want to buy, buy.
Does he want the locker room listeners to scout for players for him? Because I don't understand this statement. While for Koulibaly, he was a successful failure at Chelsea. Wow.
Wow.
God bless Nigeria and long live Smooth FM.
Wow.
Amen to that. Wow. Successful failure.
I don't have that one. All right, let's take some. Let's
Yes.
take one more story before.
Yeah, moving on to CONCACAF. CONCACAF meted out suspensions to Weston McKennie and Serginho Dest of the United States and Mexico's Cesar Montes and Gerardo Ortega on Friday in the wake of the stormy Nations League clash between the two nations. I saw Weston McKennie and his torn
Yeah,
jersey.
it was a real brawl. Oh.
Was it WWE?
It was a. This was a. Look, at this point in time, I thought they should have called the Coast Guard or the what they call the people at the border control,
control.
because this was beyond football. Is this an
Hey.
immigration? It was. I mean, think about it. What is the most ironic battle you can see? USA versus Mexico. Really, really.
Never-ending battle.
It wasn't about football at this point in time, but here it was. It was not one brawl. It was two different brawls that happened at different times. There was even a massive kick out on Folari. I was just like, why did it, if we are neighbors, eventually you're going to holiday together at some point. Are you going to fight at the holiday resort?
The next thing you hear now is sanctions.
You know, so yeah, that whatever was going to come, it was a very feisty one. So remember that Mexico used to play the football, and USA had the brags. You know, turns out USA won this match by 3 goals to 0.
Yeah.
But USA trying to build their football. It's also one of the reasons why they're trying to build. They were trying to build their league. Remember that one time that they were doing what Saudi Arabia is doing now, taking a lot of name players to go play for them. Yeah. So they're trying to build their football, but Mexico always feels like they are the guys to beat in the CONCACAF. Anyway, turns out that US in the want to agree. So turned into a full brawl. At the end of the day, both teams lost. CONCACAF enjoyed because they're going to collect their fines and they're going to collect their money. And then, of course, the Gold Cup is also going on. Started on Saturday. Right. Yeah, started on Saturday. USA drew their own first match. I think Mexico won their match, but both teams without the players were suspended. So really unnecessary suspension, but that was a brawl and a half. I've seen those kind of fights in South America. Oh, it's normal. And that's normal.
It's normal. Then.
That's part of it.
All right, let me take 2 messages really quickly before we head out. Tayo says football is looking like WWE or Game of Thrones battle scene. Chimobi Victor says, truth be told, Koulibaly failed successfully. Even the children on the streets will be better CSOs than Koulibaly, who can't even kill each other.
I don't think that Koulibaly. So again,
Victor,
the problem was a team problem as much more than it was an individual problem. I think that's what happened. I think what made Koulibaly's case worse is that he left a side that he had built up in Syria, and then the year he left is when they now eventually.
That must have stung.
That must have stung. You know, especially as he didn't do much with the Chelsea side. So I don't think Koulibaly was the problem as an individual.
It was a general.
I think it was a general problem for Chelsea. Which is sad, which is why I think they're going to have to dismantle that team and unfortunately start afresh.
After spending 600+ million,
they're still going to spend more money. When all is said and done, they're still going to spend money.
The plus for them is that they are making the money back in player sales, so yeah, it's all good.
But they're doing the player sales a bit like how do they call it?
Yard sale?
Yeah, it's like a yard sale. So how much money do you recoup from a yard sale? But let's see how it goes. All right, and that's it on the locker room. Hopefully by Wednesday we'll have more more football without the brawl and more tennis to talk about. But for
Hmm.
now, let's leave Ayo in the studio.
All right, thank you, Tega. But before I do that, just really quickly here, who is buying Maguire? Oh, that's Cruz. Cruz, I don't know. If you ask me, who I go ask. All right, thank you so much, Tega, for coming in. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Alrighty, that was the locker room. Keep listening to Smooth 98.1 at 9 o'clock Lagos. We're going to get talking on Lagos Talks. Stay with us and keep listening.